Did you see time turn back? Do not rush to conclusions. The woman was washing the dishes. She just turned around and spoke to her daughter. When she looked back, she was stunned. She didn't know why all the furniture had turned black. The house looked like it had burned down. The strange thing is that her daughter is gone. This made the woman feel afraid. She tried to scream for her. Suddenly, a crying child burst out from the bedroom. After opening the door, unexpectedly, her 6-year-old daughter turned into a baby. She rushed outside with her daughter in her arms. Then she took her daughter towards the building curiously. The magic happened again. The little girl in her arms turned into her 6-year-old daughter as before. What is going on? Then the police rushed to the scene and began to carefully examine. They found something strange. They were all burnt marks here, but they didn't find any sparks. This was not the strangest incident that occurred. The 6-year-old girl became a baby in a blink of an eye, but her mom didn't know why. After investigation, 5 years ago, there had been similar fires in that building. Was time going back? Olivia thought it was unreasonable that time was going backward. The next second, another strange thing happened again. A group of young people was about to drive past the tracks, then a train suddenly appeared in front of the car. They hurriedly got out of the car. The scene in front of them made them stunned. The train was disappearing out of thin air. Just as Peter was about to leave, he went straight through the scene of the incident. Suddenly, his colleague came over. Peter asked him how he got there. Lincoln replied, "Driving." On the way, Peter was just about to speak. It seemed that time travel had also happened to him. After investigation, they knew that the track was abandoned years ago. And the strange thing was, after checking, it turned out that the car had become rusty. Peter stroked it a few times. Just snapping his finger, there was a hole in the baffle. Then he looked for it casually. It seems like the car has been here for many years. He wanted to tell his colleagues about the strange phenomenon, but he just reached out. He was back in the car. Everything happened so quickly. He tries to explain to his colleagues, but no one believes him. It turned out that all of the strange things that happen are caused by the time machine. This woman wrote all the formulas on the blackboard. It was when the time machine was about to be cracked. Seeing his wife was so busy, he kept looking at his watch. The pencil broke. He immediately gave her the other. It seemed that everything was in his plan. As if everything was just like he expected, he asked his wife, "Did you crack it?" The answer is yes. Then the husband looked at his watch again. There were only a few seconds left. The man kissed his wife slowly. Suddenly, his wife disappeared. The husband calmly put the cup down. Then the next second, it was his wife again. His wife at this time sat in a wheelchair with her eyes blankly still. The husband handed her a cup of tea. The wife asked him, "Who are you?" It turned out that his wife had dementia. He used his wife's formula to develop a time machine. The successful machine led him back to the past. But it was not a perfect time machine. Every time he crossed, it only lasted 47 minutes. What he didn't know was that such a machine brought trouble to the outside world. Finally, the police followed the clue that led to him. A police officer went straight in. In an instant, the officer disappeared and turned into ashes. That was because the time in this bubble was 2016 and the outside time was 2021. The gap between inside and outside was 5 years. After ordinary people go in, they couldn't stand such a time difference. Anyone wanted to go in and turn off the machine switch. They could only put on a device to shield the magnetic field. On the other side, the crossed wife knew what her husband did. She wanted him to turn off the time machine, so the two had an argument. Finally, the man told his wife about Alzheimer. He asked her to write the answer, so he could time travel forever to 5 years ago. On the other side, because of the time machine, something more terrible happened. Another time bubbles blocked the tunnel. And on the other side of the bubble, it was an ocean because that tunnel was built under the ocean 5 years ago. Peter wore magnetic field clothes and got into the bubble. At that time, Peter told them the disasters outside caused by the time machine. The wife heard it, willing to turn off the time machine, but she asked Peter to let her husband go. For the sake of the residents' safety, Peter agreed to her request. The old man turned off the time machine. The wife was in tears, but she also smiled at the last second. In the tunnel, the water also disappeared in an instant. Everything was back to normal. When the old man secretly wanted to save his wife again, the scene in front of him made him panic completely. All of his wife's formulas were ruined. Only on the last page, a few words were left. "How to repay me, just love me and live your life." After watching the film, I can't help but think that the husband became a devil for his wife, even willing to abandon the whole world. His wife willing to give up her husband because she don't want him making mistakes and living in sad memory. Love is selfish, and if you are kind, please give me likes or share on my channel. Thank you so much for watching.